Spotlight Awards, which honors people who are making a difference in the Charleston community, is coming back for another exciting year. Deborah Powell-Anderson, who's the founder of the Spotlight Awards, talks to me about what you can expect this year for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Deborah Powell-Anderson, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
It's awesome to be here with you, Quintin, as always.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Obviously, you are the proprietor and owner of the Spot 47 on Cooper Street, which is a couple of miles from here. And also,
That's right.
you are the founder and CEO and executive director of obviously the Spotlight Awards.
Yes, I am. Proudly, I am.
That's exactly right. Who else is Deborah Powell-Anderson these days?
Well, I'm one that's trying to survive during the midst of this pandemic and just to stay healthy, definitely, while still trying to connect and do things to make a positive difference in our world. So, giving it all I got.
Giving it all you got. That's exactly right. What connections are you making locally?
Well, one of the things today is the very last day of Help Somebody Month. In the city of Charleston, by proclamation, Mayor Tecklenburg made the month of May Help Somebody Month. And we tell people all we ask is that you spend each day in the month of May doing something kind, a random act of kindness for somebody else. People are suffering, Quintin, as I'm sure you know, and going through it. A lot of people don't know where their next meal is coming from. And that's a sad thing. I mean, a lot of people are going through that. So by doing something kind every month, this month, I hope and pray that we made a difference in the lives of many people. I know I gave it everything I had, and today's the final day. So it's not too late. You can help somebody today. For those who are hearing, listening, and seeing this. And then do it all year long. Why not? I mean, we go through drive-thrus and just pay for the food behind us. All kinds of things we did. We put food in the blessing box and just a lot of different things. Help somebody.
Help somebody.
Yes.
And what has been your most random kind of act of kindness, that is, right? Random act of kindness.
Yes.
Which one? Yeah.
Which one was the most fun?
Well, which one have you done personally?
Have I been doing? Did you
Yes,
say?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, all kinds of things. Well, definitely several times we drive through the drive-thru and pay for the car behind us. Randomly giving flowers. Randomly just sometimes making several calls in a day to check on people. Wellness calls. Food in the blessing box. Sometimes just buying food for somebody else or taking it to them. Then we've done a lot of things. In some cases, I actually was talking to somebody and they were down on their luck financially. I said, do you have a WhatsApp? And they give me a WhatsApp. I send them money. Not everybody might not be able to do that, and I don't have a ton of it to send, but hey, if you send somebody $6 and say, get some coffee, get a cup of coffee, something that's a kind gesture that's not a ton of money, that could make a difference in a person's day. Sometimes just calling to say, how are you doing, and sincerely listening because you mean it, makes a big difference. So,
what else are you listening to right now, Ms. Deborah?
In which way?
When you hear about these people's concerns here in the community, despite COVID.
Yes. Well, one of the things that has bothered me tremendously, and I want to say it, the federal government gave monies to support individuals and small businesses who are struggling and businesses who had to close due to the pandemic. We were one of them. And that money has been sent by the federal government to help individuals, and it's supposed to go all the way through September 4th. Well, I'm bothered by the fact that our governor has decided to opt out of receiving that money. I don't know if people know this, Quintin, but as of July 26th, that's the last day. It cuts it off short by 8 weeks, and to me, that is unfair. The tax dollars from the individuals who live in the state of South Carolina go to the federal government, and it's that money that some of it is coming back to the people. And I just don't, for the life of me, understand why our governor would stop receiving that money. And I heard him actually say that the goal is to more or less force people to go back to work. Well, you're taking monies away that could help those families, and you're trying to force them to go back to work. And some jobs don't even pay but minimum wage. And what is minimum wage? $7 and some change an hour. So now you're telling them you need to survive off of $7. And you take a small business owner who had to close because they said you're not an essential, a necessarily needed business, an essential business. So you close. So then what do? How do they reopen their business? If you're telling them that you're cutting the money off so that they can go back to work. That's a pet peeve that just has been bothering me. My thing is allow those individuals to receive that money and give them the opportunities to go back to work, yes. But at the same time, the pandemic is still going, Quintin. And a lot of people don't want to be out there because of that pandemic. So it's crazy. But that's one of the things that I've been hearing about and people have been talking to me about it, and I just feel that it shouldn't be that way. And a lot of other states are doing it too. It's not just South Carolina. So it is what it is, but I'm not happy about that.
How have you been able, or how will you be able to reopen your business?
See, that's the thing. My husband and I have been thinking about, because when we closed the spot for Fair Deal Grocery, the spot 47, when they said we had to close, we did. And we took everything out, cleaned the place down spotlessly, so that when we go back in, everything will be in order. And you've been there before. We tried to keep a clean establishment. We tried to keep it right. So we were hoping to go back this past January. Well, they said another wave was coming. So we backed off, because if the funds are spent to restock the entire business and then we have to shut it down again, that's more money. We lost a lot of money. We've been closed since March of last year.
Right.
So when we go back in, we're talking now either July-ish, somewhere in there between July and September, reopening again. It's going to take money to reopen and to sustain and to keep going. And then hopefully we get the customers to keep it going. It's been an interesting time. Go ahead.
Oh, very interesting time indeed. What type of financial help do you need right now for your store?
Well, the PUA helped us along the way. And that's something that's going to hurt, because the funds that were coming in through the PUA will no longer be. And so that really, it makes it tight. But other than that, other than just doing the best you can, that's about it, Quintin. That's about it. But we sustained. We're still here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you mentioned obviously the government cutting out certain federal assistance for many people, and I know people are still on unemployment, and I believe they'll still just get the $100 a week, whatever. Well, what else?
Yeah. But you know what? It was really crazy. Even with the unemployment, it's like it went from where you didn't have to do the job searches and things of that nature.
Right.
Now they're required that people, if you're self-employed, you have to send in proof of self-employment, and then you end up sending things over and over and over, and that's not enough. That was crazy. And then you now have to search for jobs, weekly, to just get the whatever they're going to give you, $100 or so. To me, it is the part that bothers me the most, is that the money is not coming from the state, the additional money, the stimulus type. It's not stimulus, but the money for the PUA and the unemployment that's coming from the federal government, that does not come from the state. So my question to our governor, and I would love it if Governor McMaster were to see this, because I want to ask him, why would you do that to the citizens of this state? Why would you take away funds that you didn't have to? It's not hurting the state to distribute those funds. Why would you take those funds away from people who are suffering and going through when the pandemic is not over? Not over. People are being vaccinated, but it's not over. But go ahead and finish your question.
Oh, no worries. And just as a disclaimer, I've tried several times to get in an interview with the governor and lieutenant governor for Quintin, but the press office have completely ignored me. But what else are you hearing from these people who are actually getting unemployment right now?
As to how it is helping them?
Yes, ma'am.
You mean, well, the people who are getting it right now,
Yeah, and even the
Go ahead.
governors and the recent governor's news.
Yeah. Oh. People are greatly bothered by that. It's like, and then see, the thing of it is, the state promised that they gave it to everybody in writing that those funds would come in through September 4th. So now you go back on that. I think they call that a breach of contract. And that's Deborah's opinion on it, okay? You go back on that. You shouldn't do that. You should not do that. So people are disturbed. They're thinking, what am I going to do? And then what if they can't get the job? Then what do you do? It's called hurting the people who are already hurting, and it shouldn't be that way. My heart breaks. Of course, as an individual with the PUA, that helped us. But my heart breaks for all of those families who I know, it's my husband and I, but you have families with children, and it shouldn't be this way. That's all I can say. It just should not be this way. And people are feeling it, and they're saying the same thing. Yeah. So
And
July 26th is it?
is it? And if you could sit down with the governor one-on-one, what else would you say to him?
I would let him know that, in my opinion, what he has done is truly a breach of contract. I work with a lot of contracts, and somebody might want to differ with me. But anytime you make an offer, and I accept your offer, and then I show proof that I'm qualified to accept your offer, and you tell me that you're going to do it and how long it's going to last, we have an agreement. It could be a verbal agreement, but in this case, it's in writing. That's an agreement. And when you decide to just cancel it like that, and it's not written that you can cancel, yes, you can opt out from the federal government, yeah, but he should have opted out at the beginning. Don't wait until people are this far along and they're starting to get their lives back together somewhat from the monies they were getting to say, oh, I think I'm going to cut it off 8 weeks early, because a lot of you aren't going back to work. You're getting more money through unemployment and the pandemic funds, more so than you'd make on a job. So a lot of you are not taking the jobs that are available. And so I'm going to cut it off early. You don't do it like that. No, that's not the way to do it. If you promised it would come through September 4th, you should give those funds through September 4th. And then what you should do is put in place ways to help people to get back into work. But not only that, maybe look at finding ways to get our congressional people and our senators to increase the minimum wage. $15 is still much of nothing, but increase the minimum wage so that people can adequately go back to work and sustain their lives. That's one, Quintin. I'd probably talk to you about several hours. We'd be having this conversation. But, if I had a chance to I would love to sit down with the governor and help him to see that what he is doing is truly an injustice to the citizens of the state, to the people he's supposed to be representing, and to the people he's supposed to be caring about. I wonder if we were to just tell him that we're going to cut his check off 8 weeks early, or 8 months, or whatever it may be. If we were to say to him, we elected you to be our governor, and we decided we want to opt out on that, so we're not going to pay you for the remainder of your term. I wonder how he would feel going home knowing that the funds that he was told would be coming to him will no longer be coming to him because we breached our contract with him. It didn't feel good.
And I hope to get the governor on Quintin's close-up soon, since I've interviewed everybody else from Congress on down.
I wish you would send this interview to him. Send this one to him and tell him that's why he needs to sit down with you and help explain how what he just did would make sense, to the average person. To the average person who may not be making the salary that he's making, and the senators that are supposed to be representing us, Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. Anyway, it just does not make a lot of sense what's being done.
When you fast forward to July, what resources do you hope will be available for those people who obviously will have those funds cut off but need jobs and other resources?
Well, you got the unemployment office and things of that nature in which you can do job searches and seek out a job. It's, Quintin, other than that, there are people out here who are trying to help, food banks and distributing food and clothing and assistance of that nature, hygiene kits, things of that nature. But as far as money, I don't know of any right now that's giving money. there are different things. There are different funds available to assist with rental, paying you with your rent.
Right.
I don't know about the mortgage, just something I'm not aware of that may be out there. So my best advice is don't quit trying. Keep reaching out to individuals and see who might know what to help you to get the help that you need. And just don't quit.
And speaking of, oh, I'm sure it's rough with a lot of people. And speaking of people out here in the community helping the people, obviously, let's talk about the Spotlight Awards. The host of this event seeks to create an opportunity to thank these angels to show them that they are appreciated by giving them their flowers while they're alive. The host also seeks to utilize this event to open the eyes of others to see that they too can do positive things that will change lives and make a real difference in our communities. How do you open the eyes of others these days?
You tell the servant leaders that we honor, the servant leaders are the individuals that we honor at Spotlight Awards. And the event, this is our fourth annual event. This event is in honor of the victims from the Mother Emanuel tragedy. So in every way, our goal is to remember them and celebrate their lives. So when we select the individuals as finalists for the Spotlight Awards, 9 people, this year 10 people will receive an actual award. And each of the first 9 awards is named in honor of the 9 victims from the Mother Emanuel tragedy. The 10th award this year will be a Servant Leadership Award. And we're adding that to the lineup. We get our servant leaders or individuals who strive to make a difference regardless of what's going on. They're those ones with their feet are on the ground on a daily basis. They're not asking for accolades. They're not asking for money. They are truly trying to make a difference in the lives of others. And usually they neglect themselves. When you go to offer something good to them, they're like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm okay. They're so used to helping everybody else. So in opening their eyes are already wide open. And especially now during this pandemic, they're working double time trying to make a difference. So I'm grateful for every single servant leader, even if there's an individual who may not be recognized or nominated to receive a Spotlight Award. For those individuals who are out there making a difference, I say thank you to them every day and every way, because they are the ones truly, positively holding the world together. And that's wherever they are, in whatever country. Here in the United States, those people who work to make a difference like that, servant leaders, are the ones that are doing things to just keep the positive light shining. Keep that bright light of love and hope alive, to let people know that there are people out here who care about you and want to make a difference in your life. And so it just doesn't get any better than them. And I feel that the Spotlight Awards, I tell people all the time, I wanted to grow to something that will rival anything that could be done with the Oscars or any award show that's given to a person. If somebody sings well, Quintin, and they act well, and they dance, whatever their talents may be, more power to them. I love them. I work in that industry. I love entertainment. Okay, no problem. But if we can honor them and recognize them for having a talent, well, goodness, we should really honor and recognize the people who don't even get paid attention a lot of times, but they're still out there every day trying to make a difference in every way,
positively. And personally, Mr. Anderson, how do you hold up this community? You grew up around here. How do you hold up this community these days?
Oh, well, I do my best working with the ECDC and the office of President LaTanya Gamble. Out of the Spot 47, even though we're closed, we still do things. We just took a trip yesterday and took a beautiful group of young people through the ECDC to an event, about an hour and some change away from here. And so we just keep doing things in the community. Month of May, Help Somebody Month. All the things. In December, we paid for groceries for well over 125 or so people. just randomly. Well, we didn't randomly. We spoke to the stores ahead of time, but we went to 8 different grocery stores in the city of Charleston and just randomly paid. Walked up to a register and said, "Do you mind if I pay some money towards your groceries?" And it was just awesome. And the people
Absolutely.
who are with me there, just so it's one of those things where you don't do it by yourself. There's no I in team. See, you're in the team as well. The mere fact that you agreed to interview me, I'm honored because it helps me to get the word out to what we're doing to make a difference and about the servant leaders. Well, that puts you in the team. So to collectively together, we all make a positive difference, and we all are doing something good. So.
And speaking of which, as you talk about people, I know the awards committee will select, as you mentioned, 19 individuals as finalists, and all of them, of course, will be honored, recognized, and given tons of events, gifts that is, at the event as angels in our communities. How do you select who's on the actual awards committee?
We have a team who actually work with the Spotlight Awards, and have been working with us since the conception, or whatever the word is, the beginning. And when let me back up. We are currently taking nominations as we speak, and we've extended them. We were going to cut it off at the end of May, which would have been today.
Right.
We've extended it an additional 20 days just to make sure people knew about it and had time to get nominations in. So let me say to your camera, if you know of anyone who is an angel in your community, that person who you don't even have to call them on them, they are always there to make a difference, nominate them. May I give the website?
Sure.
You just need to send an email if you can to Spotlight Awards 47, SPOT, Spot, Light, LIGHT, Awards with an S, the number 4 and 7, the numbers 4 and 7, Spotlight Awards 47 at gmail.com. And send us your name, your contact information, the person you want to nominate, and tell us why you feel they should be looked at or considered to receive a Spotlight Awards. And we will get back in touch with you. Someone from the nomination committee will get back in touch with you. And if you don't have an email or way to do it that way, then you call the Spot 47. The number is 854-444-3167. I'll say it again, 854-444-3167. Call and leave that information, your name and contact information, who you want to nominate. We'll call you back.
And obviously, you just said that, hey, we have to extend it so that people know more about these nominations. How many submissions have you received thus far, Ms. Deborah?
Quite a few. I don't know I can't tell you the exact number, but I can say we're grateful that quite a few come in. And here's the other beautiful part, Quintin. We're not just leaving it to South Carolina. If we get a nomination from California, and we got some that are coming in, if that person is selected to become a finalist, and what we do is the committee looks at everybody, every nomination that comes in. And when those nominations come in, we ask the various individuals who've been nominated, they're contacted and told that they've been nominated. And if they'd like to accept, being considered, we instruct them that they'll need to send us additional information. Tell us everything. We tell them this is not the time to be humble and shy, because it's hard for a lot of our servant leaders to speak well about what they do. They just want to do the work. They're not thinking about accolades,
Right.
So we tell them this is not the time to be shy. We need you to tell it all. If you gave Sally Sue a stick of gum today because she really needed it, tell us you gave that gum. And, we need to see it all because we then look at the different individuals. We look at what they're doing, the difference they're making, and how it emulates what the Emmanuel 9 victims did when they were alive. And that's how we select. And so each committee person votes. And we look at those votes, we tabulate the votes, and we select, it'll actually be 18 finalists. And of the 18 finalists, 9 of them will receive a Spotlight Award, and a 10th person will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. But what's beautiful, they are all winners because they will forever be known as an angel, always. As a finalist is an angel. And we have the Angel Alliance for that. And then also that night, everybody gets a basket we normally would place it in front of them, and we load that basket up with gifts from the various businesses in the community. Yes. So everybody goes home with good stuff. And this
Absolutely.
year, Quintin, guess what? Good news. Normally we do it in the ballroom at the Gill Yard. Love the Gill Yard.
Yes.
Well, this year we're going across the hall to the performance hall. We're really going to feel like the Oscars this year. And performing at the Spotlight Awards this year is the Manhattans, featuring our good guy. Yeah, the leader of the Manhattans, all of it.
Yes.
We're excited.
Oh, absolutely. And
Gerald Austin.
oh, that's
My
exactly
brain was
right.
trying to think Gerald Austin.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I am actually a couple of, not even a mile away from Mother Emanuel AME Church. And obviously coming up is the 6-year remembrance of the victims after they tragically died during that particular incident at the church. Where are you still emotionally 6 years later?
I look at it now, and I look at the individuals because, every year we do something that's a tribute to them. And their families are always welcome to come and be there because we like to do nice things for them too. I look at it and I know that I feel personally that when someone leaves this life in that way, usually it's because their life was intended to make a statement. And those 9 people who died and the survivors, I think, have been making a statement from that day on. And the statement is that in the world that we live in, and this is me coming up with what I feel the statement is. In this world that we live in, it is imperative that we release the thoughts and ideas that some people are better than others, or one person is better than another. And we must move toward understanding that at the end of the day, we are all human beings. My skin is this color, but if I were to have someone whose skin might not be quite my type or might not look, now I'm a black person. Let's say there's a Native American person. I have O negative blood. If that Native American needs O negative blood, I can give them my blood. They're not going to look like me. Or if someone gave me their blood, I'm not going to look like them. That's because this external piece here is determined by where our ancestry grew up. If it was a really hot climate, I need melanin so that I don't burn in the sun. If it's a cold climate, I need hair that comes down long so that it covers my neck to have blood. I need to absorb that sunlight, to survive in colder weather. So that's what determines this external stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we need to let it go. Let it go. And start treating each other the way we would truly want to be treated in order for this world to be a better place to live in. The whole racism piece is ignorant. When you look at it, it makes no sense. So those lives were taken. That young man, who did the shooting, some may want to hate him because of his race. No, that makes no sense. But at the end of the day, you would have wished that it did not happen. But now that it has happened, I feel that the message is that there's a time for healing. There's a time for understanding. And most importantly, there is a time, and this time is it, for love. And learning to love yourself and love each other.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And speaking of understanding, what is the biggest difference that you understand now about the Spotlight Awards from 4 years ago to right now?
We have evolved. Each year we step. Now, last year we did it in 2020.
Right.
We still held the event, not on the scale that we normally did because of the pandemic. And last year we had 4 lifetime achievement recipients. And that was phenomenal. LaTanya Gamble was one of them. Councilman James Lewis was one. Jimmy Bailey, I know you know Jimmy Bailey.
Sure.
Yes, we ended up with 4 recipients last year. And it was still a phenomenal event. So the thing that I have taken from the 4 years, and my brain is trying to remember, I've drawn a blank, but that's okay. I'll come back to it. I'm thinking the last 4 years, I have watched this event grow, and it seems like it's getting better every year. And that's the goal, because we're also working on a comedian, a very well-known comedian. I can't say it yet because we haven't solidified the contract. But when we do, we'll announce that as well. And it's just going to another level.
Yes, that's going to be amazing. Well, Deborah Powell-Anderson, thank you so much for your time, and again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so very much. Love you. There's nothing you can do about that.